Hello, YouTube stalkers. Welcome to Life Worthy with Kate, and I'm Kate. I have something to talk to you guys about today, and it has to do with living a large life and living it to the fullest. And that thing is setting intentions. So, as a society, we set a ton of intentions at the beginning of the year. We call them New Year's resolutions, or we call them just spring cleaning. But we put all these intentions out, and then we don't follow through with them very long. And I wanted to talk about why we do that, what the importance of setting the intention is, because that's not a useless process, and also how best to make sure that you're following through, and the aspects of any action and choice in our life, especially when it's difficult for us, that make it more consistent, easier to do. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was New Year's resolutions. The most common New Year's resolutions have to do with weight, finances. They have to do with habits that we want to change. Those are our New Year's resolutions, our intentions for the new year. The reality is most people stick with their resolutions about 3 weeks. It's not very long, and it's not enough to really develop a new habit. So most of the time, it's now April 2nd, by now we've completely lost track of what our intentions even were, let alone our plan for achieving them. The second thing that happens is that we set the intention, but we have no plan for actually how to do it. And most of the time, we're going to continue doing what we were doing before with a slight modification, expecting that to make a big change. I would argue that if you've been doing something for a year or even 6 months and you are not seeing that it is making a difference in your life, chances are it's not going to, and you need to change your approach. So, second part is actually setting a plan in place to make that change. The third thing that happens when we set an intention at the beginning of the year and then fall off of it by the end of January is that we give up. We say, okay, I fell off my plan. Maybe I set the intention, I made the plan, and I didn't follow through with it. So I'm done. I gave it my try and it didn't work. What we know is that life is an ongoing series of firsts. You have the first day of the year, sure, but you also have a first day of the month, a first day of the week, a first hour of your day. So the fact is that you can restart, you can begin at any time. And if you go off of your original plan, there's nothing that says you can't get back on it quickly. So what were your New Year's resolutions? What was it that you wanted to change this year that maybe you've already stopped trying? For me, I had 2 resolutions this year, and I've kept one of them, and I haven't kept the other. The one that I've kept was sticking on my weight loss journey. I knew that I had to get committed to that. I had health concerns. I was watching my son gain weight and not lose it. I was watching everyone around me get heavier and heavier, and so I knew I had to change. My reasons for that intention were so strong that they've overwhelmed every desire to quit. So because of that, I have stuck with this. On the other side, I made an intention that I was going to keep my desk completely clear of clutter. That goal has not happened, and I'll tell you why. I started off this year with the intention that I wasn't going to put any clutter on my desk because in July I'm going to be moving to a new space where I won't have any storage. So I need to get used to keeping a clean and clear workspace, which we know is a great thing to do for productivity, but I need to do it just so I get used to it. So my reason for doing it isn't strong enough. And because of that, the fact that I have a coffee cup sitting on my desk from this morning that's empty and needs to be cleaned, I don't really feel the need to do it. Now, maybe that will change when I'm in my new space and I don't have any storage and I have to do it. But I do need to get better about making sure that that's done, because I need to get used to it. So I am starting over today with that practice. The first step of that, obviously, is to clear off my desk and take everything that's not necessary and put it away where it belongs. The second thing that I need to do is actually involve someone else in my intentional process. So when you start your resolution, your intention, whatever it happens to be, if you're doing it by yourself and keeping it an individual project, chances are you're not going to stick with it, especially if it's something that's not natural to you or not easy to do. So involve somebody else. If you're dealing with an addiction, you normally are familiar with, or often are familiar with, the 12-step process. In every program that they have for addiction, you end up with 2 people on your team, 2 people that are there to support you. One is your accountability partner. This is a peer, somebody who's there with you, going through the same process. And the second one is your sponsor, somebody who's already done it, somebody who's been successful. And that person is responsible for checking in and making sure you're continuing on your process. They're there to act as accountability, but not just accountability, they're your cheerleaders. And that is part of our best practices for actually changing a habit. Whether that habit be eating healthier, getting exercise, working on your finances, paying your bills on time, keeping your desk clean, whatever it happens to be, make sure you have those people on your team that can both be accountability, call you on your crap, and that can be your cheerleaders, your mentors, that can remind you that you can succeed, that it is possible. That community support is extremely important. That coaching is extremely important. Ultimately, that's why I chose to become an Optavia coach, because I know that having that person in my corner makes all the difference between me sticking to a plan, doing it right, even when it's hard, or falling off the plan, going my own direction, and quitting. So, who are those people? If you don't know who they are, reach out to your family first, your friends, somebody you're close to, and go, hey, I've got this intention right now, and I'm trying to make a difference. Do you know of anybody who's done that before? Maybe you know somebody. I'm starting an exercise plan. Do you have a coach in mind? Have you done it before? If your friend says, yeah, I actually started running last year and I got a coach, or I have a partner, a friend that runs with me, and she's really patient. Would you mind introducing me? I'd love to see if she'll do the same thing for me. Oh, well, I started a good diet program last year, and it's made a bit of a difference. I've seen some changes, but I have this coach, this nutritionist, this therapist, counselor, life coach, who has been through the process already. That person is helping me stay on practice. So I heard that you're trying to do something with health. Why don't I get you in touch with my coach? Why don't I connect you up? Support each other. It doesn't always have to be about health. It's not always diet and exercise. Sometimes it's just a messy desk. In my case, my husband is like super organized. He annoys the crud out of me sometimes because he is so clean and so neat that sometimes I feel extremely messy in comparison. I'm involving him in the process. I made an agreement with my husband this morning that at the end of every work day, because he and I work together, that he's going to take a look, and if my desk is messed up, he's going to ask me, Kate, did you forget to do something? And if I say no, He's going to go, well, take a look at your office and see if you can tell me what it is that you need to do. My hope is that by the end of the week, I'll start expecting him to ask me if I've missed anything. And by the end of next week, I should be preemptively cleaning my desk off because I'm expecting that challenge. So that is my plan for meeting my new intention. What's yours?